us from home. And we are recording now. Yeah, good to
go. I'll probably be sharing my screen for most of it, but yeah, I guess you got the quizzes to do for now too, so that's good. Yep, we'll go to it for now, and we'll switch back and forth as we need to.
Excellent. All right. So how was everyone's weekend? Did you guys get a weekend? I know you had a crazy weekend the week before. Did you get a little more time off this weekend?
No.
No.
This weekend was meet with auction company and the realtor for the houses in Columbia for my stepmom.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I would really like a weekend.
Yes, I'm sure.
I would like a weekend.
So I heard some really good news about that behavioral center situation that they're opening up over across the way in Council Bluffs.
That's so exciting.
That's huge.
That's so exciting.
Right?
Is it gonna serve like adolescents through adults?
24 kid beds.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
I have not been to Jenny since the announcement was official, but
Sure.
there was, in the hospital, and there was a lot of fear around it because that unit has been there for a long time. But even in the announcement, it was very, these employees are valuable and we will need to staff. And so I'm hoping that kind of satisfied that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
people don't want to feel like their jobs are in jeopardy, which they shouldn't, because psych nurses are hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so, but yeah, it's very exciting for the community.
Good. Yeah. And will that service both Omaha and Council Bluffs, or is that primarily for Council Bluffs?
No, psych beds are available to, like, when I worked at Mercy in psych, we took patients from all over Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, Missouri, and this will become another center of, if the patient is voluntary, they can come from anywhere. If they're involuntary, if they're involuntary, it can be a little trickier because, if you're court ordered, you have to stay within the jurisdiction of that court.
Sure.
Unless you're federally supervised, so that would be like VA or Native Americans. They can be placed anywhere, but it's such a huge need and it's super exciting.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know how that worked with insurance. If you're from Nebraska, can you go to Iowa, that kind of thing. So.
It's psychiatric bed is a lot like infectious disease bed or an ICU bed. You go over, there is one, and insurance just takes
care of it however they do. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sure. I don't know how that works. That's not
very
that's not
exciting
my
stuff.
Cool, very cool. All right, so we're gonna go through the quiz. You guys have that pulled up? Sweet. Okay, so and your question one is the same as my question one?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, so according to the types of assessment by cognitive level, is this a true or false statement?
True.
Yes. According to the identifying types of assessment by outcome document, how many steps are mentioned in the process?
2.
Yeah, it is. It's 2. It's 2 for those of you if you couldn't hear online. Question number 3, according to the developing a course document plan, how many reflection questions are mentioned?
3.
Yeah, 3. Okay, yes, it is 3. Yes. Very good. It is 3 different kind of review questions that they have there. Now, keep in mind that depending on who you talk to or which educational expert you talk to, all these are going to be slightly different because everyone has their own theories and their own schools of thoughts. I'm sure the same is in nursing. I would assume the same would be in nursing. So, but what happens when you assume things. So, okay, so question number 4, according to the most common question errors, the second listed common question error are those questions that are either what or what?
Leading or biased?
Leading or biased, yes. Most likely in that order. I didn't even think about switching them around for that question. So yes, leading or biased. Okay, and then the stumper, right? Was this the one?
Yes.
Okay. So all the possible tools you could choose for conducting a formative assessment. Now keep in mind, formative assessments are those small snapshots of what did they know that day, what did they learn in that class period, what did they learn from that lecture. It's a quick, usually you're actually asking them questions about something. Okay, so would that be making a PowerPoint?
Is that having them make a PowerPoint? I was thrown off by that too.
Darn it, clarity. Great question. No, it wouldn't be them. It would be
It'd
you.
be you making a
Presenting.
Yes,
You're
I
presenting
need
a
to
PowerPoint,
say
okay.
that presenting a
Presenting a
PowerPoint.
Okay.
So
Yes.
So it's a no on that one.
Not that one. Vote with your feet.
Yes.
Yes. Taking a quiz.
Yes.
Yes. Writing an essay.
No.
No.
Correct. Not. Don't do writing an essay. Using a teacher-paced Kahoot.
Yes.
Yes. Answering questions through Nearpod.
Yes.
Taking a final.
No.
There it is.
Okay.
So 4 yeses and the others are no. Okay.
Those Satan questions are a ball, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Okay, and then this one, you just match the definition to the correct type. So the first one that we see there, the assessments are utilized after the learning has taken place and are used to measure how much the student has learned at the end of a specific period. That would be summative. And then that means that the other one is used to identify areas where students might struggle, offer timely feedback. Timely means quick, right? And shows you how you need to make necessary adjustments to the learning. Okay, so that would be formative. According to the Bloom's taxonomy slide from the PowerPoint, using information in new situations is represented at which level?
Right.
The apply level, yes. And then the last question, according to the assessment questions creating level slide from the PowerPoint, what type of questions, oh, darn it, were used for the example?
Essays.
Yes, essay questions, that is correct. So now if you submit that, you should get a hundo.
Yes.
Yes. Sighs of relief everywhere. All right.
It was the quiz that threw me off because that one wasn't on the slide.
Yeah.
Which one wasn't on the slide?
Quiz.
Quiz.
In your formative
Like-
assessments,
Using a quiz.
like,
Oh, right.
It wasn't,
like,
actually
on the slide.
wasn't on the
Yes.
slide, but it could be a little quiz or a big quiz, yeah.
Mhm.
That
Yep,
one's-
yep. Every once in a while, when I taught middle school, and you could probably try this in your class too, honestly, I think they would like it. I would have them take Twizzes, which is longer than a quiz, but shorter than a test. And then after they took it, I handed out Twizzlers.
Oh, fun.
So just a little interactive piece, but all those kinds of things seem to help sometimes with that building a relationship and interacting with your students. So
Did Erin tell you she's worried about you, me, one of us?
in what way?
She asked how this was going. I said, good. He's encouraged me. We're gonna have a car accident on the first day of class. And she's like, Spencer thought you should have a car accident? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. She's like, okay. Like, I don't know if I was in trouble or you, but one of us is probably gonna hear about it.
Why are we having a car accident? I don't remember this conversation.
Oh, because they need to move their feet and they need to actively engage and we're learning about trauma. So we're gonna have a car accident in the classroom.
Okay.
Ooh,
Thank
man.
you.
So one of us, and the person who dies will have no trauma. Like, that's not a trick question, but if you're dead, you're not suffering
It's-
from trauma.
yeah.
I think one of us is in trouble. I'm hoping it's you.
Yeah, that's
No
fine.
problem.
I'll do it. I'll take the brunt.
Thank you.
Way to be the ball.
Awesome. Okay, Mark, I think we're up to you, sir.
Sounds good. Let me share my screen here real quick. And I
Is that
don't
done for all of you?
don't think I need to save audio for anything, or play audio, so we'll get things cruising here. All right, can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. So this is going to be a really short PowerPoint because almost everything that we do today is going to be hands-on, doing it on your own kinds of things. So you can actually learn how to do it instead of watching slides about how you might do it. But we'll kind of quick knock through this. We just did the quiz from last week, so we should be good there. If you see any spelling errors, this presentation was put together in the last 15 minutes. Do not try that on your own. I was getting ready and preparing and moving things around a little bit and deleted my entire slideshow.
Oh, shoot.
So in 15 minutes, so if you see a spelling error, welcome to 15 minutes of prep time. All right, download the lecture. This one, like I said, if you want to, go ahead and for practice, it's not a bad thing to download it, but there's not a lot in these slides, and a lot of it will be in the recording. So Sonia, you are recording, correct?
Yes, we are.
All right, great, awesome. All right, so learning outcomes, we're kind of hitting those again just to kind of revamp. Backward design, bright space navigation, but the one today that we're really going to focus on is recording and distributing your lectures. So of all of those 5 that we're looking at for the learning outcomes for this course, recording and distributing your lectures is this one. So based on that, then today, we're going to take a look at the camera app really quickly. Not a lot to learn there, but something that people tend to forget that's really incredibly easy. We're going to look at iPad screen recorder, incredibly easy, but at the same time, some easy ways to screw things up in a hurry. So hopefully we can avoid a few choice words because you made a mistake. So we'll hit that one. We're going to talk a little bit about YuJa. You've probably heard YuJa thrown around. Some of you may know what YuJa is, but we'll talk about that in YouTube channels. We're going to take a look at creating bright space video notes, and finally, if we get a chance, creating that notability PDF stuff that you've been using to download your slides. So, as I told Spencer, I've got 10 pounds of stuff that I'm going to put in a 5-pound bag today, like usual. So hopefully we'll be able to get to that, but I do have some notes out there for you on that one if we miss it. All right, so the camera app. All of you probably have an iPhone, Android phone, something that you're using the camera app already for. Is that correct? You may not understand the camera app. You can open up the camera and go ahead and use either photos or videos. So go ahead and shoot your video using the camera app. Where does that put the video? Any thoughts as to where your video goes if you use a camera to do recording?
Photos.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So it makes it really easy. It just drops those right into your photos. And we'll talk about how to put those photos and things into Brightspace. But really, it's just open the camera app, run the recording, do what you need. You can do some basic editing in the photo app, and we'll talk about some of the more advanced features for doing some editing next week. So, but in the Photos app, you can trim the front side and the back side of the videos. So know that you can trim off those pieces of, okay, I hit record and then I spent 2 minutes prepping and putting everything together and finding out I didn't quite have things in the order that I wanted. One of the things to think about with any of the recordings that you do, you can edit like you wouldn't believe. You actually have on your iPad now just about everything you need to make Lord of the Rings video if you need to go that far. So if you wanted to edit the Lord of the Rings movie, you have the tools available on your iPad to do most of that at this point. So don't get too carried away when you record something. Oh, I stuttered, I misspoke. What would be an easy way to fix that?
Just cut it out.
Cut it out, yeah. So one of the things I do is just pause for a second. If I'm recording something, I see a lot of people that will hit the 2 or 3 minute mark and then lose where they are. Stutter and stammer, they stop, and what do? Go back to the beginning and start over and try to get that perfect run. I've got news for you. You'll probably never get a perfect lecture recording. You can burst everyone's bubble, but you probably won't. So know that you've got an editing tool and you can do all kinds of fun little placement and things like that. So what I do is I'm recording a video is if I make a mistake, it's nice because I'm not live. I just pause, take a deep breath, collect my thoughts, think about where I want to pick up and start so that I can edit that in at the right spot. Take another deep breath and then go ahead and start with the recording again. But don't stop the recording in the middle. Just let it run. Don't get in panic. Don't get in a hurry. Don't do any of that stuff. And know that you can go cut that back out later. And we'll talk about those editing tools to do that next week. But that's an important piece as you're starting to do this is don't worry, you can fix it. And it's a whole lot easier and faster to fix it than it is to record it all over again. So that's just a little bit about the camera app and really about all of the different recording tools that we'll be using as we go through this. Okay, the big one is actually then the iPad screen recorder. The iPad actually has a screen recorder built right in. And what screen recorder will let you do is record everything that's on your screen. And if you remember to push the right button, it will synchronize your voice with what you're doing on the screen. So you can do a really easy screen recording of anything that you want to show on your iPad right there on the iPad itself with your voice as the narration of exactly what to do. In order to use that tool, you do need to turn it on. So what we're going to do, I'm going to jump out here and you can just follow along on your iPad if you've got it there with you. But if you go to the settings, the little gray gear, go to settings, and then control center, right underneath general. I'm guessing, unless you're ahead of the group, that your screen recorder or screen recording that I have up here is probably down in the more controls. Go ahead and just hit the plus on more controls or down there, and that will take your screen recording up to the top up here, which is part of your control center. Everybody able to get that done or already have it done? Any questions? While I'm here, I am going to point out one other tool that's really handy. This timer right here is a really handy tool, and we'll take a look at that. If you don't have timer up there, go ahead and put timer up there as well. What it is a screen timer. So if you were going to tell your class that you wanted to take a 5-minute break, you can set the timer, and it will actually run down and be a visual reference for your students to know when that 5-minute break is. Or we're going to do a think, pair, share, and I want you to do it for 5 minutes. They're going to see the timer up there. So we'll take a look at that when we get over there too. Right. If nobody's got trouble getting that set up, then all you're going to do to use that screen recording is you're going to come over to kind of that upper right-hand corner and swipe down. And now you should see the little screen recorder button. Mine's flashing because I'm producing right now with video and sharing my screen, so I can't actually hit this. But you'll see a little target, and yours is probably black and white instead of red because it's not on. And because I'm recording, I can't show you this, but there's two things to be really careful with here. Actually, it's one thing, but they're related. If you just click that button, and don't do that right now, but if you just click that button, it's going to start recording your screen, and it will do a fantastic job of recording your screen. What it won't do is record your voice. And the only thing I can come up with is Apple trying to protect you from yourself. They do not turn the microphone automatically on, which is very frustrating. So if you just click and move on and hit record, that microphone is not on. So go ahead and press and hold that button. And then you should see that you can capture your video. And if you just hit start recording right now, you're going to lose. Make sure that that little microphone button down below is red and turned on.
Get down there. Yeah.
Does that make sense? What I do with that that's really helpful is I think of that button as a stop sign. And that just is that mental cue for me to say, okay, you know what? I need to stop and think about what I'm doing before I just push that button. Because I had a faculty member, not that I would recommend a 40-minute lecture, but people do 40-minute, or I've heard longer lectures. I would discourage you from doing that and record in smaller segments. But they recorded a 40-minute lecture. They didn't turn the microphone on. I would have loved to have been in the room when they figured out what they had done, to hear the incredible number of choice words that probably came out of that faculty member's mouth. So think of that as a stop sign. Make sure you click and hold that and turn on the microphone. Go ahead and practice just for a second and try recording. So go ahead and click and hold, turn on your microphone, and do a quick recording with that. And you can all talk. You don't have to all be quiet.
Okay, practice session on how to record on the iPad screen, take 1.
Nice.
All right. Then when you hit stop recording, you'll see a little red button up at the top, and in that upper right area, you can just click on that and you can stop recording. And notice the banner that comes across the top that says, hey, I put this in photos for you. So just about any time you record something on the iPad, it's going into the Photos app, so you have it stored and ready to go. That makes sense for everyone? So what class, where would you use that in your classes? Any thoughts?
Sometimes you have a student who has a need to be gone, you know, whatever that might be, and you want to make it available to them.
Mm-hmm. You can do your lecture recordings this way. So we're in Teams and actually delivering this live, so we don't need it. But you could sit back and do your lecture recording. So if you're doing an asynchronous course online, you can record your lecture. So you could bring up PowerPoint and record your PowerPoint lectures as you're walking through it. You could bring up Keynote. You can do Human Anatomy Atlas and navigate through the different parts of the body. So lots of places where it's really handy to just pull that together quickly and share what's there. One place I used it that was really powerful is I had a pretty complex spreadsheet that I wanted to share with Dr. Carlson. And I knew that she wouldn't understand it if I just sent her the spreadsheet. But I also knew I wasn't going to get time to explain the details to her. So I just opened up the spreadsheet and walked her through all of the details of the spreadsheet for her to share with the board. She said she used it to just practice, and she developed her own presentation right out of that video. So think of lots of ways that you could communicate information just using a quick screenshot and screen recording of what it is you're doing. Any other thoughts on places you can use that? Biggest trick, practice, practice, practice with it. And don't forget that you want to think about that round target as a stop sign, because not hitting the record or not hitting the microphone button can be really frustrating. Apple also pulls another stunt that really makes people think on this, and I wish they wouldn't do this one too, but they do, so I'll warn you now. You absolutely swear that you click the microphone button and you recorded audio, and you open up that video and play it in photos, and there's no sound. And what happened? The only reason I'm asking this is because I know it will hit you all this way too. There's no sound, but you know you hit the record button. Your videos in photos are automatically muted. So when you go to your photos,
You have to turn it on.
and you open a video, open up a video, notice that there's a nice little microphone or a speaker button up here in the corner. With the speaker turned off, that's automatically turned off. So they double whammy you. They turn off the microphone automatically, and then they turn off the speaker automatically. So if you know you hit record, or you know you hit your microphone and you're playing it and you don't see it, make sure when you're watching it that you click that speaker button as well. All right? Everybody knows they're going to get caught by that. Both of those, right? So I just want you to be ready, because I guarantee it will happen and you'll run into questions. All right. So YuJa. How many of you have heard about YuJa? Raise hands real quick. Anybody know YuJa? You using it yet? Not yet? Okay. YuJa is the current tool that we're using for storing and sharing videos. So if you talk to current faculty, they're probably using YuJa. You can store your videos there. It will create a link. So it's essentially your own personal TV station. So you can put your videos out there. You can share your videos. It does the link for you. It creates ADA subtitles. It does all of that stuff for you. So some pretty handy tools out there that it does. But the downside is that costs right now the college $22,000 a year. And on top of the $22,000 a year, there is a storage quota. So you can only store so many videos before they bump that price up again. So while it's handy, it's also pretty pricey for the tools that are out there. So we're looking into different tools right now. But if I were to guess, I would say that we're moving over to YouTube channels. So if you hear YuJa, great. Does anybody have a huge library out there in YuJa already? Maybe something you inherited?
I have everything in YouTube.
I'm sorry, what?
I already have a YouTube channel.
Okay,
That's what
great.
I'm used to using.
You're going to be a lot happier. Yep. So very good. So YuJa, you may have inherited a video library from a previous class with YuJa. Know that it's out there. We're not exactly sure where we're heading yet. We're doing a lot of evaluation to find the best tools out there. So we've heard Nearpod's kind of out there. Nearpod works really closely with YouTube channels. There may be some tools in there that we look at. But just know that if you hear YuJa, that's what it is. So YouTube channels, the cool part is it's free, it's easy, it creates links, and it does the ADA subtitling for you as well. So it really does all of the things that YuJa does for free. No darn. Why would we move there? So we're looking at ways to do that. What you're going to see when I open this up is we actually have our own channel out here right now. So let's go ahead and open up YuJa real quick, or excuse me, YouTube. I have to get my vocabulary switched over here. But if we go out to YouTube, you're going to see the logo pop up because I'm logged in as Create right now. And we have our own channel here for Create. So once that shows up, I can go ahead and click on that, and we can take a look at our channel. And so we're starting to put all of our different videos for Lunch and Learn, Creative Conversations, all the videos that we do for this class are all out there ready to go. So if you wanted to add the video that you just shot and put into photos to this channel, it's a really difficult piece. You can go right to the plus over here, or you can hit Manage Videos if you want a little more detail on what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Manage Videos. And now I can see all of the videos out here, and I can track down who has access, how many views have been there, what's going on with all of this. So lots of different tools out there that we can get. We can see a dashboard. So if I want to kind of a basics of what's going on in my channel, I want to see the content that we were just looking at. If I want to see analytics, I can actually go out and see who's watched, how long did they watch, when did they watch, all of the different stuff. So I can get a ton of analytics about what's happening in my videos. I can also see the subtitles and control the subtitles. Lots of things that I can do down along this side. But the biggest thing that we want to do is just hit create. And so I'm just going to hit create here, and I can go ahead and upload the videos. When I select the files, I get the opportunity to go right to my photo library. So any of those videos that I did either in camera or in the screen recording are going to be available right here in Photo Library. So I just click on Photo Library. I see all my videos. I can go ahead and click on those videos and upload and be ready to go. So really difficult to manage your YouTube channel and access that. Now, once you have that, you can grab the links to that. You can decide who gets access, who doesn't. So you may want a private link. If it's private, only those people that have the link actually can open it. If you have a public link, anybody out in YouTube can open the video. Spencer or Sonia, anything that I'm missing here in YuJa or YouTube?
So what do we use as our sign-in to create our own? Like if we want to
Yep.
class?
What I would recommend is if you go ahead and use your Methodist ID and just log in as Methodist and create your account.
Like you would if you're in Google Drive.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
So we create our own channel and use that for our classes. Okay.
Exactly, yep. Now, the downside of that's going to be some of the transitional things. If someone leaves, how do we move those videos across? But I think that the free part of it's going to overweigh any of the challenges of that. And realistically, people really should be kind of creating their own videos for the courses. I know when my daughter talks about, yeah, I'm still seeing the old teacher that is no longer here doing the videos, and when the teacher has to jump in and talk about changes that they see to it, it'd be much better to move those over when you can. Good motivation to create your own content. But lots of great tools out there. Again, it does the ADA subtitling for you, does the links, everyone has access, all of that good stuff.
Mark?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah, where would you go to actually change your videos from public to private versus restricted versus?
Okay, so if I go back to our channel and then go to content, oops, excuse me, try that again. Manage videos. So let's step back here. Okay, so if I'm in my channel and I just choose manage videos, I can see right here the different visibility, unlisted versus public. So you can see we're kind of playing with that a little bit here. So we can just click on a video and then you get a drop down box. And you can choose whether that's private, unlisted, or public. So public means that anybody has access to that video. Anybody on YouTube can get to it. They can see the links. They can see everything about that. It's just like any other YouTube video that you're seeing out there now. Unlisted is kind of the middle ground. It means that you're not going to see it if you're browsing out to YouTube. But if you happen to know the address, you could get it even though you don't have any credentials to get to it. If you know where to go to get it, you can find it. And then private is you have to have the link and the credentials to get into that video. So you can choose between those three different levels to navigate through who has access to what. If you want to change things, you can change one video at a time, or if you want to do a mass kind of thing, you can come in and click on the videos that you want to change and start to change some of the management side of those by choosing multiples at a time as well. Any other questions on YouTube channels? The other trick is that once you're logged in, how do I create my video or create a channel? You're actually going to have create a channel here where I have my channel at right now. So if you get logged in, you're going to want to use create channel, and then you can build your own channel. Any other questions on YouTube channels? Easy group today. This is nice. All right. So that's YouTube channels. One other piece that we want to hit then is Brightspace video notes. Has everybody had a chance to play with those a little bit? Cricket, so I'm not seeing anything. Any hands saying yeah, I've done it?
It's like 2 yeses and a no.
I'm sorry, what's that, Spencer?
2 yeses and a no.
Okay, great. So let's go ahead and hit it real quick. With Brightspace Video Notes, I've got the slides here so you can actually build your video notes, but through the insert stuff. But we're going to go ahead and hit that real quick. So if I go into Brightspace, go into our course here. Today's course. And all we're going to do is choose upload and create. And we can create a new file. When I get that create a new file area, you're going to see, and we've talked about this once before, but it's always good to repeat this highly technical term and for this button here of insert stuff. I think it was even on the quiz before. If you just click insert stuff, there's a couple things that you can do. One, if you know that you already recorded something either via the camera or screen recording or any of those things and it's already done, you can hit My Computer and choose the file. When I hit choose file, I get my photo library. So if I did a screen recording or I did a camera or any other method to get it into photos, I can just grab the photo library and upload that video right into this and I'm ready to go. If I don't have anything recorded, I can choose that insert stuff. And I'm not going to be able to do this because it's going to tell me I'm already using the camera for broadcast. But if I hit add video note, we'll see how far it'll let me get away. Then I have a couple options here. I can record using the webcam, or I can upload the file here too. And then you're going to want to allow access to the camera and microphone. And when you're ready, then hit new recording and off you go. You get up to 30 minutes to record your lecture. And one of the handy buttons they've just recently added in is the audio only. So if you wanted to do somewhat of a podcast with just audio, you could just hit the audio only and record an audio piece into this as well. That make sense? One of the good news pieces while we're here in Brightspace and talking audio and podcasting is that we now have a complete podcasting studio there in the room that you're in. So what does that really mean for you? Well, one, we've got now probably 4 or 5 microphones. So if you need a microphone to record a lecture, you can certainly borrow one of the higher quality microphones for your classroom setting, or you can come into the record or into the Create Lab, and you can go ahead and do the recording right there in the lab. So if you're looking for something a little quieter, you'll look over your shoulder and see the recording sign, so you can stick that on the door. I would recommend opening that hallway door and pushing it open to where it stays open, and now you've got a nice quiet space to do your recording. In addition to those 4 or 5 microphones, we also have a sound mixer now. So if you wanted 2 microphones to do an interview, it will actually auto level your voice versus my voice. So I've got kind of a loud, booming voice that is a little louder. Some people are a little quieter. It would adjust it so that both of our voices come through at the same volume. So we've got lots of tools to help you do the recording if you want to get a little fancier with your podcast. Any questions on video notes? Since you got 2 yeses and 1 no, where's my no? Who hasn't done it yet? Haven't done it yet?
Haven't done it yet.
All right, well, it'll be an easy one. Know that your students also have access to do that video note as well. So if you wanted to use this to do discussions instead, you could do video discussions as we discussed. We've had some faculty members do assignments now where students are asked to record a video. So there's some amazing videos out there of what the students have done. So lots of ways to think about putting this together, but your students all have recording studios now. So we actually had a part of an orientation that we did online for students as part of an escape room to teach them to use their iPads early on. And we had them open up Human Anatomy Atlas and give us a tour through one of the human body systems. And so they were able to record with the screen recorder all of the different pieces and narrate what was going on with the body systems. So some great ways to really think about all these different ways to start to record. Any questions on Brightspace? Holy cow, you guys are ahead of the game. This is awesome. Thank you. And the last piece that we really want to hit then is the Notability PDFs. So far you've had the student experience of what it's like to be able to download our lectures. And you can take notes in Notability. How do you want to distribute those now so that you create the teacher side of things? And the reality is we will be doing orientation, so all of your students will know how to take either a PowerPoint or a keynote presentation and put that into Notability, so they can all do that. So if you just leave it as a PowerPoint or a keynote, your students can open it up and do that. It does, though, introduce a little bit more confusion and more button pushing for all the students. And having 30 students all go through that, you may get barraged with a lot of questions that you then send to us. So it may be easier for you to actually create the PDF file and put the PDF file of your lecture up into Brightspace that way. That's what we've been doing, is creating that PDF for you. So you just click it and download it right into Notability and off you go. So I'm going to walk through the keynote side of things. You could do the same thing, and we'll probably walk through both. It looks like we've got time. You can do this on your PC. You can do this on your iPad. I've got links to all the videos on how to do that. So if you need some help walking through, take a look at these videos. If that's not enough, you can certainly corner any of the three of us and we can walk you through the process as well. It's really pretty simple, but there's a few little tricks to things, and I even had to teach Apple some tricks that I learned along the way as well. So let's take a look and we'll go into, well, I guess we're in Keynote already. So the process that I did this morning to upload this into our Brightspace course is I've got my slideshow here. All I'm going to do is go up and click on the title of the slides up here. And I can hit export. And now I can export it as a PDF, a PowerPoint, a movie, all kinds of different ways that you can export your video out. But the two that I focus on the most are PDFs and PowerPoints. So I can just export this as a PDF. And now you can see the different formats that you might want to use to export that out. So whatever your preferences is, some students want to take your PowerPoint and just export it as a full slide per page. You can do kind of what are speaker note ideas, 4 slides per page. One I'm kind of fond of for our students is the 3 slides that are down the page with an area for note taking off to the side, so they see both the slide and what's there. You can choose how many slides per page. And then the other piece that you can do in here is
I don't know where we are, what we're doing.
It came up on mine.
Keynote on the app.
Hold on a second, Mark. They don't have, there's a couple that may not have Keynote.
yeah. So I'll walk through the
Mine has
PowerPoint.
yes, but grab it.
Yeah, I'll walk through the PowerPoint as well, so we can go through that, because it's a little trickier on the PowerPoint, but there's some interesting things that you can do there. So know that you can do that on Keynote. Do all of you have PowerPoint installed?
Nope.
Is that a nope?
I do not.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and go to self-service, and you should be able to download PowerPoint right into your iPad too. Really handy thing to have that installed and ready to go. Because if you're used to using PowerPoint, you have it. and I can almost guarantee you somebody's going to share PowerPoint slides to you, and you're going to wish you could open it. The good news is it will open in Keynote for you. I actually prefer Keynote because there's some pretty powerful things I can do in Keynote that we'll take a look at next week, but that's certainly a possibility. Did everybody get PowerPoint installed now?
So go back out to your meeting.
Did you say that you had it?
Yeah, like, here, can I do?
Oh, your home, yeah, go back to your
Go
homepage.
there is your self-service, and now
Okay.
search for PowerPoint, and then it'll allow you to install it there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh,
Hit
no,
the button and stuff.
But it's putting it with my home email address. Does it need to be?
oh, I didn't even look. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because it's,
Like,
I
how would it
mean,
merge to that? That's weird.
well, my
Because
Apple
our-
ID is hooked to
Our
my
app, it's
home,
hooked up to our Apple ID, which is our home.
so that must be okay.
Then, yes,
So I did-
whatever
I just-
email you put in, yeah, I
Yeah,
just put
and
in
then
mine.
I just, when you open it, then you can add an additional account, and I just
Okay.
added an MHS one.
I just gotta keep things separate because
Yeah.
with work stuff, I'm like, I'm gonna put my personal email in there.
Well, they had us, I don't know, all of mine is weird because of the iCloud and connecting
Yeah.
and so like Google Drive, I get both.
Yeah, so if you click up on the top where that DN is.
Yeah, that's actually mine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so mine opened fine. I wasn't sure which way it was going to.
We're almost there, man.
Okay, so now, I mean, we don't have any in here, so we can't really,
Yeah, if you don't have a PowerPoint slideshow, is that it?
then we can't do what
Okay,
you're
so
doing.
I'm gonna just walk you through this so you can see
All
it.
that on my laptop, I don't
Do it here.
do PowerPoint on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You now you have options. Go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Yep, lots of options. So here's a little known trick though. So we'll walk through this on the iPad, and it doesn't make any sense to anybody why it is this way, but it works, and it's a nice little hack that I dug around and found. So here's my PowerPoint slideshow. I can open up a PowerPoint, I can work with it, all of that good stuff. All right. So now, if I go up here and I choose export, I can export this as a PDF. And when I do that, it'll export it out pretty much as a slide, every slide on a page kind of environment, but it doesn't do that cool kind of 3 slides per page with a note. You get what you get, here you go. Bless you. All right. So if I want to get fancy with this, I can come up here to the 3 dots, and I'm going to do something that you're told you can't do. Yeah, dust in the air over there, huh? So I'm going to hit those 3 dots. And they always say, don't do this on the iPad, or you can't do this on the iPad, but I'm going to anyway. So instead of export, I'm going to come down and I'm going to print that file. When I hit print, and I'm going to air print, sounds strange, right? And I want to do this now. So now you can start to say, okay, how do I want this set up? Landscape mode, how many frames, all that good stuff. I'm going to hit 3 slides per page, hit next. This is where it gets really funky. Okay. Where am I going to print this to?
Yeah.
What's that?
PDF.
PDF, but can I?
If you,
So here's the trick. Right over here, where I see the pages, I'm going to do that spread my finger trick where I spread to zoom in on something. And I'm just going to spread that open. And now I have my slides ready to go. And based on how I set the orientation on all of that good stuff, I now have a PDF file. And I can take that and I can actually just send that right to Notability. I can send it to Files. I can take that. So it's a kind of a funky way to sneak around and make a PDF of just about anything you want. That trick works on any application that will have a print option. So if you open print and you get to the print page and you're supposed to select a printer, just spread your fingers on the actual file that you see, and it creates a PDF for you.
Interesting.
Okay, so again, I got to that print page, acted just like I was going to print all the way through. And then you can change your orientation, you can change all of that stuff to set it up how you want. You can change your layout, all of that stuff, get it all the way you want to get it ready to send to the printer. And then you simply come over here, spread your fingers, and now you have those slides ready to go to PDF. All of those pieces for both the PC side, if I go back to my slides here, all of those are captured in video and text-based instructions at each of those sites. So you can go see how to do each one of those. If you still have trouble with it and want some help, don't hesitate to grab Spencer or Sonia or myself, and you should have what you need to get that out to a PDF for your students. And then once you have that file in your files, you can just add that right in as a file in Brightspace, and off you go. Any questions on any of those? Probably clear as mud, right?
It's clear now until we try to use it and get lost.
Well, and so that's exactly why I do what I do with it is we've got videos out there. So if it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday and you're still trying to figure it out, you can certainly open up those videos, open up the files and see step-by-step instructions on how to do it. You've got the video here that you can watch. That will always be available to you, so you can zoom out to the end of the presentation and watch the video of how we did it. And you always have Spencer, Sonia, and I to call on to help you walk through it. So really what I wanted to do was expose you to all of these different ways of recording and distributing your information, so you at least knew it was out there. Because what we see so many times with people coming in is they don't even know what's possible. So I want you to walk out of here knowing what you can do more than I do, how do I do it? Because if you don't even know you can, you wouldn't know to ask the question and you wouldn't know to look for help. Now at least you know, hey, Mark showed me this. I know I can get it done, but I just can't do it right now. What resources do I have in the survival guide, in these lectures, or other video resources that I can go to? Or at least I'm knowledgeable enough to ask the question and say, this is what I'm trying to get done. Can you give me a hand? Make sense?
Yes.
Hey, Spencer, we got
Yes, sir.
10 pounds in a 5-pound bucket.
Yes.
At least they know what they can do now. Like you said, Sunday night at 11 o'clock when you're trying to do it, how do I do it? Well, at least you've got the resources to go find it and get things going.
Agreed.
Yep. Anything in the last 3 minutes that we need to hit?
I think so.
I'll just bring up something. Notability
right.
has just updated everything, and so it looks very different now. So,
Oh, really? Awesome.
just
I wish
FYI,
they'd call me and tell me they're going to do that now and then.
right? Yeah. So, especially on the iPad, you want to play with that a little bit.
Okay.
It looks cooler, but also things are not in the exact same spot that they used to be. So,
All right. Very good to know. Very good to know.
You won't know what you missed.
And then, Sonia, I'll give you a heads up. I've got to run to a doctor's appointment with my son, so I won't be there for this next session. But I know they're all in capable hands with you, so we'll let it go.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, everybody. Have a great one. I'll give you 2 minutes back so you can hit the restroom and break and get things started on time with Sonia.
Okay.
All right.
thanks, Mark.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
And I've got